approach like this rehab process, this sort of waiting game, where you can show teams what you can do?
Just be as patient as possible. Obviously, if you're a competitor, you want to get back out on the field as soon as possible. But when you have injuries like this, you can't rush into it. So I just have to be as patient as possible. And you kind of get to grow your knowledge of the game. Just by watching it on the sideline. Watching film, things like that. So it's been good to learn the game from a different perspective, for sure.
Watching film with teams, and they kind of show you what mistakes you've made. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna make mistakes on the field, So you just kind of got to take the coaching, point out what you did wrong. I feel like I'm the biggest self coacher. Like if I do anything the slightest bit wrong, I'm going to be the first one to call it out, So I'm trying to be as perfect as possible every time I'm on the field, So you just got to take the coaching, and get better and apply it, on the field, and not make the same mistake twice.
With your background in track, is that something that you feel like might help you out through this process? Maybe some of that muscle memory?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I mean, really all the sports, just playing all of them. Track definitely with running and jumping and. So it definitely doesn't hurt, for sure.
So what's the culture difference between California and small town Iowa?
It's been a lot different, actually. The traffic's terrible. It takes me about an hour to get like 30 miles. Here it'd take me like 30 minutes, but. It's definitely a lot different. The weather's definitely nicer out there, but I've definitely missed being in Iowa. It's good to be back here.
When it came to the combine, what was kind of the final straw for you deciding not to do some of the testing at the combine? Were you just not 100%, or were you just kind of wanting a little bit more time to strengthen everything?
Yeah, so I wasn't 100% yet, and then I just started running like a week before the combine, so I wanted to train and be able to put my best foot forward out there on the field, for sure. So that's kind of what went into it. But being there, I had a lot of good meetings, which was good, and just talking football, meeting a bunch of guys. It was a cool experience.
How close are you to kind of up to full speed now?
Yeah, I'd say I'm getting pretty close. I've been feeling good the past couple of weeks, running and stuff. So. Definitely getting there.
Were you able to do anything here today, or is it just all for private workout later?
I did the bench today. Yep. Then I'll work out in mid-April. Come back and work out here. 16.
Happy with that?
Yeah. I'm all right with it. Yeah. It's a solid number.
When it came to your decision to go to the NFL as opposed to come back, was there any one key factor that's like, okay, this is why I want to make my decision to go to the league?
I don't know if there was one defining factor. I was really torn. Obviously, you get the college experience another year, but ultimately I felt like it was time for me to move on to the next level, and just fulfill my dream of playing at that level, and I felt like this was my best opportunity to do so.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think A.J. Schabel is the only kid from the Ida Grove area that spent any time in the NFL.
As far as I know, yeah.
Trevor almost got there with injury. Have you heard anything from A.J. at all?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
No. But I know about him for sure. Yeah, that's cool though. That being from our area, obviously not a lot of kids get that opportunity to be, where I'm at right now. So it's really awesome.
Do you know if he made a 53-man roster?
I have no clue, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody else here is going to
know.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cooper, Noah's been a big talking point throughout the year, just with everything with having the investigation. He got a chance to be a pro day, practice you guys. Just you watching over the past couple of years, what would you tell NFL teams about Noah Shannon and why they should, draft him or take a chance on him?
He's a true leader. The way he just goes about himself. He's even since the suspension or whatever, he's been in here every day. Helping the guys on the D line, helping our defense. You know, even when he got to practice, dude was still out there working his tail off. You know, every time I see him work on the field, you know, he's going full speed 100%. And, you know, you turn on the tape and watch him play, like, you see that on the tape. Like, he's flying around the field from sideline to sideline, you know. So, you know, I hope he gets his chance, because he's definitely gonna make the most of it for sure. I know.
Are you hearing a lot about special teams during this process too?
A little bit. I've talked. I mean, most I've heard is just, you know, talking about returning punts, you know, which is something that obviously I want to do. You know, but that's the extent of it. And obviously, some teams will, you know, talk about it briefly, but most of it's about the defensive side, mainly. So.
I think I've seen a lot of mocks. Well, I have seen a lot of mocks with you in the first round. Is that sort of your expectation going in? What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest, I don't know what to expect. You know, because, you know, things could change. You know, in a day's notice and a week's notice. So you never really have a true idea. I feel like, you know, going into it, you know, trades can happen. You know, so you're kind of just going into it blind, I guess, if you would say. But it'll be cool to see where I end up. Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Anybody
Thank
talking
you.
about offense? Nobody's trying to get you lined up for quarterback.
No one's talked to me about offense. No.
Since you made the decision to go the NFL route and come back for another year, I mean, has there ever still been any times where you've questioned that decision, where you're like, oh man, maybe I wish I would, or have you just kind of tried to keep that forward momentum going in terms of your future and stuff?
I mean, you kind of think about it, you know, like what it would be like if you did, but I have no regrets, you know, in my decision. You know, I know these guys are going to hold it down here. You know, we got a bunch of talented guys who came back on our defense. You know, but I've just been full steam ahead, you know, trying to rehab and train and, you know, continue to better myself, you know, throughout this process.
I'm guessing you've already been asked just how are you doing physically, just how it's
Yeah, good. I'm feeling really good so far. You know, I've been starting position work last week, so it's been good to get back out there. You know, legs been feeling really good, so I'm excited.
What's your plan to be in Detroit for the draft?
I'll be at home. Yeah, yep. Spend it with my family and close friends. So.
I think I've seen. Sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
Oh, just, you know, you always see those shots at home of whole families celebrating. You already kind of pre-prepared a celebration, or thought about that moment?
I've watched like YouTube videos sitting in my apartment out in California and just watching videos of, you know, guys, you know, getting drafted, which is cool. You know, but it kind of makes you more anxious for the draft to come. So I've kind of gotten away from that. You know, just trying to focus on, you know, day by day. But, you know, it'll be an exciting moment for sure. You know, just being around the people who've supported me, you know, the whole way. So I'm excited for it.
I think I've heard some conversation about your brother. Has he taken some visits here already, or gotten some invites over to Jack's camps, or what, for Jack's?
Jack's, yeah. He got an offer to another school, UAB, yeah. And then he'll be here the 28th of March, I believe, to watch spring ball practice. And then I think he's got some camp invites to other places as well, so excited for him, for sure. Yeah.
Is there any better recruiting pitch than having the draft night back at home with him sitting next to you, being like, hey, you go to Iowa, this is where they can get you?
No, I want him to make his own decision, but, you know, I hope, you know, if he could be here, that'd be awesome. You know, we've all grown up Iowa fans, but, you know, I'll definitely be giving my pitch for sure.
So
yeah.
He's told me, I interviewed him recently, and
Yeah.
he said that he hears about you like on a daily basis. Have you been hearing about him more so now that he's a freshman and his recruiting process has started?
I'm starting to see a little bit like on social media, like about him, which is cool to see. Yeah, from me. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely been big. It's crazy to, you know, think that, you know, he's only a freshman still. You know, for as big as he is and athletic as he is, you know, he's just got to continue to put the work in, though. You know, he's got a long high school career ahead of him, which will be good for him. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, where he ends up.
You've seen him grow up, but I guess you went to his playoff game this last year.
Yeah.
Impressions of him on the field so far?
Yeah, he's got a lot of room to grow for sure. I'm probably his biggest critic if you ask him. But yeah, he's got a lot of room to grow. But he got good experience last year playing receiver and corner. So hopefully he'll take it up a notch here next year.
Well, what was it like in there today? How do you feel like you performed out there?
I thought I did pretty well. I know some of the drills just from how they felt during it wasn't what I wanted, but I thought for the most part it went well.
Now, I know it's been a minute since we talked to you. What was last season like for you overall?
Yeah, it was a lot of maturing for me as a human. I would say, just learning from my mistakes and moving on and growing to be a better person. So, but it was a lot of maturing, but also just I got to kind of find out what my purpose kind of without football in a way. But I was still in here, helping out the young guys and in the film room and meeting with the team, and I did everything, but I wasn't out there on Saturdays. So
can you speak to what you maybe realized in that time when you talk about your purpose outside of football? What some of those things are that you're realizing?
I really got closer. My relationship with God and Jesus Christ really grew to that time. Just a lot of trials and tribulations, and I had to just keep my faith and keep my faith in God. But it was really just eye-opening, I'd say. I've been playing the sport, 18 years, something, I don't know. But it was my first year kind of not being able to play it. So, but I kind of just, like I said, just grew as a person, got a lot closer with God, got a lot closer with my family, got a lot closer with my teammates as well. So.
Can you just, I guess, just dealing with the emotions of, thinking that you possibly could be reinstated, and just, what was all just kind of having to deal with that roller coaster?
Yeah, the reinstatement process, is like, I don't even know what to compare it to, but, you get your hopes up and then they kind of just, dwindle all the way back down. But, it was just, like I said, a part of, like, maturing as a human being. Like, you're not always going to get your way in life. And, this was kind of like one of my first bit of adversity. But I know, God's just preparing me for what's to come later in life. It won't be my first and only time of going through adversity. So, He's just preparing me for what's to come.
As you've seen how the investigation played out, and it was pretty much seems like an illegal, search of things, how frustrating is that for you, given what was taken away from you this year?
Yeah, it is frustrating, but at the same time, another thing this process has taught me is to just control what you can control. You'll go crazy trying to control stuff that, is completely out of your control. Like the investigation, I could have controlled it before I made my mistake, yeah, but, once I was in the midst of things, like, I'm kind of just, going with the flow. If I, sit up and think at night, like, there was a lot of nights I sat up and thought, like, how could I change this? But, like, you can't change it. It's out of your control. So I figured if you just take a step back and, really just let God take control, that's what I did.
What's an Go ahead.
What was that?
How's your shoulder doing?
Oh, my shoulder feels really great. Obviously not playing last year, so I had a full year of rehab basically, and it felt really great going into today. And, I'm still trying to strengthen it. I feel like when you get surgeries, you always got to, like, they give you a timetable, but there's always still more work you can do to make it more stronger. So,
is it easier knowing that you have had some good years on film to show NFL teams?
Yeah, got 2 years starting and then some more film where I was a backup. But yeah, just I think it definitely helps. Like if this was different and next year this year, upcoming year, technically looking back on it, would have been my first year starting. Obviously, it would have played a different role with not having much game film, but yeah, having 2 years under my belt definitely does help when it comes to like scouts saying like what's your best game, what's your worst game. So
time or many opportunities so far to meet with NFL teams yet?
I met with my bad. I met with a couple today after our pro day, and they had some great things to say. So I'm looking forward to just continue to build relationships with them and see what comes next.
I don't know if this is a question that these guys are asking you, the pro scouts, but they maybe wonder if you've lost a step after not having played in an actual game for the last year. What do you tell them to reassure them that you still got it even after you missed this last season?
Yeah, when they did open up the reinstatement process and I was able to practice again, I got to practice for a lot of October, if not all of October. So, and I was practicing in August too during fall camp. So, I definitely wouldn't say I lost my football edge, I guess you could say. Obviously, I was still meeting with our team and growing as a player mentally, and I would say that in that area of my game, I'm better than I was before all this stuff came out. Like I see more on the film or in the film room, and I'm able to, just like when we were watching film during the season, just like based off of backfield sets and whatnot, kind of have a general gist for which way the play is going to go if it was a run, and also just picking up keys for passing plays too.
Did you know the Parker Hesse route might be the way you go play D?
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I've heard that quite a bit. And to be honest with you, I think you know me pretty well, and I think people know me well. I don't care where I play as long as I'm playing. So wherever they want to put me, if they want to put me at fullback, if they want to put me at long snap, I don't care as long as I'm able to play. So
what's the focus daily or throughout this whole process? Has been putting on weight, getting stronger, more flexibility in hot yoga?
Yeah, for me it was I really worked on my flexibility. My diet was really key for me. I really wanted to lean out as much as possible, not lose a ton of weight, but just like lean out and be in the best shape I can be for a pro day. I think I did a great job of doing that, and again, all credit to my mom. She was the MVP, just helping out with meals and anything that I needed, she'd help me out with. So really stayed strict on that. Just had a lot of good people in my corner, just helping me stay strict on that. Haven't had a dessert here in about 3 months, which is it's been tough. I'm really excited to get out of here and get a cookie or something. But no, it's been a really fun process. I really enjoyed it, and now we got another month of just enjoying it with these guys. I don't know, after a month when I'll see them next. So just really sitting there and enjoying it.
Has it been nice these last day or so? I'm guessing when everybody else started coming in, of just like a little reunion of a day. I'm sure maybe you guys.
Yeah, it was really nice. It'll be a lot nicer after pro day, just because we all had anxiety coming into it. Because you trained 3 months for these certain tests, and you just want to go out there and compete at your best. So had a lot of anxiety. It was hard not to just kind of sit there and talk about pro day, but no, I'm really excited to hang out with these guys after and just kind of talk about life. It doesn't always have to be about football. Just kind of sit around. And
what have you learned about the process, though? Everyone looks and dreams of being in the NFL, but then it's running 40s and shuttles and all that stuff, and all these kind of beauty pageant type things. You know what I mean? What have you learned about just getting ready for that process?
Yeah, it's tough because I'm kind of a guy that I'm just like, throw the tape on. I just want to go out and play football. That's who I am. I just love the game of football, and I wish that instead of the pro day it was like a scrimmage, or what I'm saying, something like that. But just with that process, it's just you have to learn to enjoy it and kind of fall in love with it. This is what they have set out for us. Like, I'm going to be the best person I can be at this, and I'm going to focus on these certain drills for 3 months, and that's all I'm focusing on. So just kind of fall in love with that, and then I'm excited to kind of start getting back into football and doing all that football drills and workouts and stuff.
What positions have you played in your life outside of defensive end and quarterback? Going back to youth, middle school.
I played a lot, to be honest. The only thing I haven't played is receiver. So I played offensive line, defensive line. Obviously I played D-line here, but linebacker, safety. I guess corner I didn't play. I was a kick returner. Really played them all. Yeah. I was able to catch routes out there today, catching balls at fullback. Had a couple scouts call me over to catch some balls, so that was fun. It was kind of like playing football again. It's like my hand is in the dirt. I'm actually catching a ball. So that was fun, and I was very thankful to be able to. Logan Lee and Nico and Steve kind of took me aside, and we ran routes like this week and last week just so I could get a feel for it, just in case I did get that question. And I just really thankful for them, so I didn't, look like an idiot out there, and I actually knew what I was doing.
So is that the idea, more fullback than tight end, or I guess I don't know the difference there between. I know the difference between the positions, but in terms of you maybe transitioning, you say fullback versus tight end catching balls. Or could it be one or the other?
Yeah, I think it would just be one or the other. Okay. I kind of worked both, just kind of out of the backfield, and I can work on the line as well. Now, position-wise, in the NFL, I'm not sure. I've been getting talked to about both edge and fullback and tight end, and to be honest, like I said, I don't care wherever. I'll play wherever.
How'd you feel that you did on those fullback drills today? Like, did it feel good, Ronald?
So it felt really good, honestly. Just kind of did a couple swings, angle routes. Did a little pat and go, a couple seams. It was nice. Like I said, it's like I was playing backyard football again. My brother's throwing me a ball or something like that, just because, my whole 6 years here, I think I touched a ball once, and that was against Ohio State when I scored. But so it was fun. It was a good time, and had some of the guys watch the routes, and I'm kind of curious. I was like, how do you think I did? And they're like, dude, you looks like you've been playing fullback your whole life. So it was good to hear, because I had no idea. I was just out there, But it was a lot of fun.
Tight end position work, and then all the D-line position work, and then a long snap and short snap too. So.
Really? Wow, tight end.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
There's a couple teams that asked me to run a few routes, so I just did everything. So I'm just trying to be versatile, I guess.
So you and Joe Evans, it sounds like, are kind of in the same boat. Sounds like he's maybe going down that same path.
Yeah. Did he end up running routes too? Because he did some fullback routes, I think, right? So that's awesome. Yeah. We've been training a little bit, so bummed because we had the guy that was throwing for Nico. He wasn't able to throw today, so we're pretty bummed out about that. But he's darn good too. So Keller stepped in and he did the job. But.
Would you have played tight end in high school or anything? Like, have you ever played the position?
Yeah, so I actually committed to Iowa as a tight end. Sophomore year of high school, played it all the way. So I was small town, so I did everything. I was a tight end, long snapper, defensive end. So before I got on campus, though, they moved me to D-end. Or D-line. Yeah.
Guessing you're pretty happy with the combine you had?
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased. There's a few I left on the table that definitely could have been improved on, but the main focus was the drill work today. So, but yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it.
The scouts know your positional background, and that's why they had you do it, or your frame? Or?
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned it one time, and they just asked me to do it. So now everybody knows. So that's good. It went pretty well.
When was the last time you caught a pass?
Oh man, when I got to Florida. After the Shrine Bowl, I think Miami mentioned it first. So I just started catching balls. I've not ran a route since high school.
Okay.
This week, it was the first week I started trying to run routes, and good enough.
Weight-wise, where are you at now?
I'm about 289 right now. So I'm getting back up there. I lost like 7 pounds at the combine. So trying to get back up, trying to stay just over 290, under 295. So depends on what team you're asking. Different people want me at different weights. So staying around above 90, under 95 is the goal. So.
Well, Dolan should have took you to some elbows then while he was there.
Oh, I know. I ended up going. I was walking around. I wanted a steak real bad, so I ended up getting one at Chris Ruth's, and that was way more than I was expecting to pay. I ordered it. I didn't even look. I just said I ordered it, and I picked it up. I'm like, yeah.
Market price.
Right. Right.
Charges to the agent.
Yeah, I should have.
So you didn't think about it. Would you have discussed tight end in Indianapolis with some of those meetings, or was it just straight D and D tackle?
I think I spoke with 3 teams total. One at the Shrine and then 2 at the Combine briefly, and it wasn't like, hey, you should do every tight end drill. It was like, hey, you want to run a couple routes, catch a couple balls? So I just figured I'd do everything, but yeah, went well, happy with it.
Is that something you expected, or going into this process, or were you?
I was hoping so, because I'm just trying to show versatility anywhere I can, and the more things you can do, the better off you'll be. So Everybody still sees me as a D lineman. Nobody's going to draft me as a tight end, but it's just an extra bonus, I suppose.
Well, I'm sure there's a special teams component where it's, hey, you can play, on field goal. Unit,
Exactly.
Or and you said snap too.
Yep. So I long snapped and short snapped, and I had there's one snap that was a little out of Torrey's frame, but everything else was pretty solid. So
that's something that Joe said too. I think that they had him doing some long snapping stuff as well. Is that something?
Oh, good.
Is Iowa going to start producing long snappers in the NFL now, or is that something they do for a lot of positions? Have them try a long snapper?
Well, I don't know. All I know is that anybody who is willing to put in a little bit of time can probably learn if they can throw a spiral. You can pretty much long snap at some point. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, but it's not as hard. Like if you're going to be a starting long snapper, that's tough. But if you just want to be a backup guy, it's not as hard as it looks.
Well, you never know. I mean, something like that might be needed.
Right. Exactly.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's the next step now? Trying to get some visits arranged and
Yeah, play by ear. Both myself and my agent will end up responding to some phone calls and then just see where they want us, and then we'll be running around for that. So there's not a whole lot more to it right now other than prepping for the draft. So staying in shape, gaining some weight.
Are you hearing mostly about D end or D tackle or both, or
anywhere from three technique, 4 technique, 5 technique based off the system? That's usually where they're projecting me, and some people might want me to gain weight and move inside. It doesn't really matter. I'm at a good spot to where I can gain weight or lose weight and kind of be molded to where somebody wants me. But.
How have you seen Noah Shannon handle this past year, and what would be kind of your pitch to an NFL team that's thinking about him?
I'm very proud of Noah and the way he's continued to prepare, continued to work hard, and chase the dream he's had. It's very unfortunate, the circumstances, especially now that we know everything was manipulated. But all I know is Noah's an extremely hard worker, and he is willing to put in the work to do what you ask. So he's a good man. You'll never have any character issues. He's going to make a few teams happy.
Noah spoke today a lot about his spiritual journey over the last year.
Yeah.
Have you played a big part in that? I know that's kind of a big part of your role on this team too.
Not directly with Noah.
Okay.
We've talked about it, but we haven't gone too in depth, he and I. But knowing that now, I'll probably end up chopping up with him a bit about it. So,
Logan, can you just reflect on coming here from small town Orion? Get married here. You're a captain.
Yeah.
How cool does it feel now to be in this position where you put in the work, you accomplish so much, and the NFL team might draft you here next month?
Yeah, it's. I've just been extremely blessed with the opportunities and the people that I've been able to talk with, communicate with, and have a part of my life, whether it be God, my wife, my family, my teammates here, my athletes in action family. It's just like I've been so blessed with so many great people that have helped me become the man I am today. So.
There's a lot of guys here, it feels like, the Iowa guys have a chip on their shoulder, an edge to them. I mean, do you consider yourself one of those guys?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely believe that I have a chip on my shoulder, and that I'm that's kind of what sets me apart with the willingness and ability to be able to play through adversity and be able to kind of push the pace as much as I can. And a lot of that stems from me just being a competitor. Christian above all else, and then under that I'm a competitor. So I just love competing. I don't care if we're playing euchre or if we're shooting hoops. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to win. So.
What's the draft weekend plan for you? Do you know yet?
We have no plan. We're just family's going to come together, try to figure out what we're doing, and then hopefully I'm able to see some loved ones.
So it was pretty easy. I felt like that setup definitely helped us. I know sometimes like some people stay in like apartments on their own and stuff like that, which I feel like kind of would suck a little bit because you'd be like real bored because you're not doing anything out there besides working out, and then you just go home. But we were all together and like had a certain camaraderie that is comparable to like out here, which I thought was cool. So
it's an average training day.
An average training day out in Florida.
Sure.
I would wake up at 7. And everything in Florida was like 20 minutes apart, which was kind of like a pain, but it was all right because it was warm. So we would drive to this Jewish community center and like work on our 40s. So that was like from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 40s and like the L drill and the 3-cone. And then we would drive another 20 minutes to this football field, and we would do, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we would do like footwork with the receiver guy. And then we would drive another 20 minutes to like this high school, and we would do some like treatment and stuff like that, eat lunch for an hour, and then lift. So on Tuesdays and Fridays it was upper body, and Mondays and Thursdays it was lower body. And then we get done at like 3, head back to the house. Everybody does their own thing. I brought up my PlayStation out there. I played Call of Duty like my life depended on it. And then I went to bed at like 10 o'clock every day.
It's got to be kind of nice. I mean, you're locked in and you're prepping for this thing you've been chasing for years, but also like you get to play COD for 6-7 hours a day too. I mean, it's kind of like the perfect bridge between college and professional life.
No, it was a good time. It was fun. I felt like I had like no school responsibilities as well, even though I didn't really have school responsibilities for the past 2 years anyway, because I've been here for so long. But it was cool. And then like on some days we would all go like hang out. Like we had a pool in our backyard, and like I forget what the word is, but like when the ocean meets something else, and like that little like canal type thing with the water was like right behind the pool, so it was like a view and a half. There were like manatees floating by. Some days it was cool, like these big like terpins or tarpon fish were like jumping out of the water. So the like setup was amazing. Like it was awesome. So that's what the day looked like. It was a great day.
Giving you some future living plans for this.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I was thinking to myself I was going to live in Iowa after this, but then I went to Florida. It was warm every single day. I was like brushing my teeth outside, like looking at the pool, and I was like, how could I not do this for the rest of my life? I got a lot to think about. So,
is this about one of the most, I don't know, can you describe just these last couple months, few weeks, even this time in your life where you're chasing something so big, and what this has been like for you? Is it anxious? Are you nervous? Or are you just having fun? Is it exciting? What is it for you?
It's about all those. It's anxiousness, but it's also like really a great time because everyone is working towards the same goal, and you're in the best shape of your entire life, and you're like eating healthy and getting good sleep, and like it's a time when you're like when you play college football, you got to think outside of just yourself. You know, you got to do like what's best for the team. But in like this 2 months, you do what's best for you, which is like the one time I've like all of us in this process have ever really got to do that. You know, so for like 2 months, you're focusing completely on yourself, which is something that we all haven't done before, which is it's pretty cool. It was a good time.
Are you doing this with some of the other Iowa guys, or are you doing it with guys from other schools, or I mean, who are you going through this process with right now?
When I was out in Florida?
Yeah.
It was dudes from all over the place. But then about like 2 weeks ago, I came in here and met back up with all the other guys who were other places and some guys who were here, and we all got to train together again for like the past 2 weeks, which was fun as well.